I've got some other fun things, and we're going to read a storybook today. That's the other fun thing we're going to do. We're going to take a storybook called The Cat and the Fiddler, and we're going to have fun and read that. Because when you tune in to the play along session with me right here at the old kitchen table in Chattanooga, Tennessee, what do you usually get? You get a cat most of the time with Finn, and you get a fiddler. So it's my favorite children's book so far. All right, well, let's jump right into some tunes here today. And we're going to start with a polka. I often end with a polka, but we're going to start with the Galway Belle, a great polka from County Kerry. We'll do it 3 times around. Once extra medium, and then I'll speed it up just a little, and we'll get some nice medium tempos going out of this. I'll send this out to my folks up there in LaPorte, Indiana. I know my mom always loves a good polka. So here we go with the Galway Belle. 1, 2, here we go. To start out a session with a lively tune that gets everybody going, gets the blood running in the old fingers and the bow arm and all the good stuff. So I hope you like that. That's the Galway Belle. That's a tune that's actually featured in my Fiddle Club Favorites book under the tune A Kerry Polka. So that's a fun one to play, that's for sure. And we're going to move right on to a really fun reel as well. This is called the Concertina Reel, and I love this tune because it just fits right into a D scale. All the notes in the whole tune are just right there from a D to a D, and it has that wheezy kind of sound. It really sounds to me like a concertina being played when you play this tune. I was looking up some information about it, and I know everybody enjoys a little background. I found out that the concertina was invented, can you guess what year it might have been? It was invented in 1829 by a man named Sir Charles Wheatstone. And so it comes to us to this day. It's a great trad instrument used in many countries for their tunes, and the Irish are no exception. The English concertina plays the same note whether you push or pull when you hit the button, and the Anglo concertina plays a different note when you push and pull, kind of like a harmonica. Our band, Stringers Ridge, our guitar player, Brian Haynes, he plays the concertina on several tunes in some of our concerts. So it can be a really beautiful, lovely sound. This tune, for some of you fiddle players out there, let me give you a hint. The second half of this tune has a lot of triplets in it. that D, C, D, that little triplet sound. If that's a little busy and your fingers don't want to do that, don't panic. That's a written in ornament, and you can always just completely get rid of that and just play a long quarter note D. So don't forget that. Don't let the ornaments get in your way of playing a tune, as I always like to say. So here we go. I'll play it 3 times around, once extra slow, and then up to medium tempo for our Monday session. So here we go. Here we go. One more time. With the Concertina Reel. I hope you could hear that wheezy sound in there, and you see how sometimes I put the triplet figure in the B section, and sometimes I took it out and just played a straight D. That's always fine to do when you're practicing and learning a tune at a medium tempo, like we like to do here at the play along sessions. Well, I'm watching myself today on my laptop on a bigger screen than normal, so that we can set things up for our story reading with me and Fran. So I don't really know how many people are watching right now. I usually see the numbers, but that doesn't show up here. Fran, can you tell me about how many people are watching?
Around 30.
Around 30. This is a good time to mention the next 2 weeks coming up. April 25th, that's next week. That's going to be play along session number 99. And then the day after, the last Tuesday of the month, as I always do, I'll do the April 26th Zoom slow session. So all my TRAD friends out there, you'll get plenty of information on that with my email newsletters. But then 2 weeks from today, yes, it'll be session number 100. From the time I started doing these sessions back in March 2020 I've taken off just a few Mondays, but almost every Monday I've been sitting right here playing tunes and sharing them with everybody out there on Facebook who wants to join along. We'll have a lot of fun things happening 2 weeks from today on the 100th session. We're going to have some giveaways. We're going to have some contests and giveaways. I'm going to give away some CDs. I have some of out of print, completely impossible to find unless you find used ones, but my band's Mithril and the Silverwood Quartet. I will be giving away some bundles of CDs as prizes. And I went through my collection. I have an awful lot of fiddle books, as you can imagine, and I'm going to give away as prizes a few fiddle books right out of my own personal collection, like this one with Natalie McMaster, and I've got this book of Scottish jigs. That's going to be a prize, and this wonderful collection of interviews with different Irish fiddle players called Handy with the Stick. A wonderful little book there. And who knows, there might be other things that we have for giveaways, but there'll be plenty of them. And to enter, all you have to do is make sure when you watch today that, and or next week, you make a comment. And Fran and I will be marking down your name, and then we'll put it in the old hat. And on May 2nd, in between many of the tunes, we'll pull names out of the hat like we've done in the past, and I'll be giving away all sorts of great prizes. It's my way to say thanks to all of you folks for your support and patronage, and that's why we're going to make it to 100 sessions, is thanks to you guys. I wouldn't sit here and do it otherwise, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, lots of exciting things coming up. Don't forget to make a comment today. Tell all your friends to tune in over the next few weeks. Mark it and share it with your Facebook friends, and we will see how many people we can get watching us on the 100th session. All right, let's play one more tune, and then Fran and I are going to have story time here with the book on the cat and the fiddler. So here we go with the Cliffs of Moher, a classic jig in the key of A minor, one of my favorites. One of the only tunes I know that starts on such a high note. It starts on that high note. Here we go. It's a busy, busy tune, but we'll play it a little extra slow the first time, and then 2 more times after that. So 3 times around. 1, 2, 3, here we go. time. great tune. One of my all-time favorite tunes goes from the high A to the lowest one you can get on the fiddle. It really uses all four strings of your fiddle in the greatest way. What a melancholy tune that one is. The Cliffs of Moher. One everybody ought to know, that's for sure. All right, well, that's fun. So, a few months ago, we were at a used bookshop here in Chattanooga, and Fran found this wonderful book for me. She said, oh, I have to get this for you. It's called The Cat and the Fiddler.
Who's that by, Tom?
And it's by Jackie Jeter, and pictures by Lionel Kalish. And it was published in 1968. And it has, very 60s kind of illustrations. Some of them even remind me of almost like a Yellow Submarine, kind of those fun British illustrations. And
look at the picture on the back of the book.
And
so
of course,
cute.
all of the pictures
They're
are
very,
really
they're very
yes.
cute illustrations, which I'm going to show you in a second as Tom reads it to you.
So, it's
Two parts.
it's a fun little story too. It's not a bedtime story. It won't put any of you to sleep, and we're going to do it in two parts here. I'll read the first half, and then we'll leave on a cliffhanger. And then and Fran will show you all the pictures in the book while I read it. And I thought this was something that folks don't do enough on Facebook is read a book to everybody. So, so here we go. Are you
All
ready,
right.
Fran, to
I'm
show
ready.
everybody the pictures?
I'm ready.
Well, one morning, a fiddler walked through town with his cat trailing at his heels. Shopkeepers were beginning to open their shops. Housewives were sweeping their stoops. The milkman with his cart was just finishing his rounds. Pardon me, says the fiddler to the milkman. I am a stranger in town. Perhaps you could direct me to a place where I might have breakfast. Well, the milkman smiled and reached down to pat the fiddler's cat. Why, of course, he replied. There is a fine place just down the street. By the way, this looks like such a fine cat. Perhaps you would sell her to me? Oh, I wouldn't think of selling her, replied the fiddler. This is a very special cat. I would take good care of her, said the milkman. She could catch the mice on my milk cart, and I would feed her the finest of cream. No, smiled the fiddler, I could not part with her. Watch. With that, he picked up his fiddle, tucked it under his chin, and began to play a jig.
Hold on. Oops,
You'll
sorry.
never believe what happens then. Suddenly, the cat started to dance. First, she danced on her hind paws. Then she danced on her front paws. She whirled around and around, bobbing gracefully to the tune as the fiddler played. Finally, the fiddler stopped. As you can see, he said, she's a very special cat. Isn't that true? I mean,
All cats are special.
They are, but this one was super special. By this time, of course, many people had gathered to hear the fiddler play and to watch the cat dance. Now they began to applaud wildly. Yay! All right. A dancing cat is indeed special, said one of the men. Such a fine cat should not be sold just to hunt mice. Perhaps you would sell her to me. She could perform in my carnival. Oh.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, the fiddler shook his head. No, he replied, I do not intend to sell her at all. One does not part with such a special cat. And with that, he put his fiddle away and walked on down the street. You can see everybody's being very gracious to him there, waving. Now, the fiddler was in no hurry to leave the town. He played lullabies for the babies in their carriages. He played jigs for the children in the park. Oh, look at those. He played waltzes for the young people, and he played airs for the old people. He played something for everyone, and as he did so, his cat would dance to the music. Everyone loved the cat and the fiddler. Never had the townspeople been so happy.
More?
We have to leave everything on it.
Okay.
That seems pretty good.
All right, it does.
But one day, however, the king heard of the fiddler and his cat. Send for them at once, he cried. I must see what is so special about this pair. Well, we're going to have to find out. Oh, no. We're going to leave that on a cliffhanger, Fran. We're going to leave it right there. And we'll play a few more tunes, and then we'll bring you back to find out what
Okay.
happens with the fiddler
Wow.
and the cat and the king. So,
Fiddler and the cat, kind of like you and Finn.
yes, that's what I was thinking. Exactly, and it's an orange kitty.
Uh-huh.
It's a she. They keep referring to it as a she, and of course, Finn's a big fat boy. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed the story of the Cat and the Fiddler so far, and all the wonderful illustrations from this 1968 book. Let's go ahead and play some more tunes, then we'll bring Fran back and I'll read you the rest of the story. Okay, here's the Musical Priest, a great 3-part single reel in the key of B minor. It's a really cool key to play tunes in, and in the Irish trad world, there's a lot of tunes that flip around from B minor to D, just like this one does. So this one's right out of my Irish trad fiddle book. Are you ready? 3 times around on the Musical Priest. 1, 2, 3. Time. The Musical Priest. What a cool tune that is. Every time I play that one, I think of the Musical Priest that introduced me to Irish music, really. I was familiar with it, but who had me listen to tunes. Charles Morley, Episcopal priest, and if it weren't for him, and he's no relation to me, but if it weren't for him, I might not be playing this fiddle for you today. So a lot of these tunes that I play, I have a connection with them, thinking of where I first heard them, or who introduced them to me, or sometimes I just connect them with a person or a place or a thing, and that's how they stay in my head. You might notice I don't ever look at the music when I'm playing these tunes, or very seldom, at least, to be honest. But that's how I do it. I make a lot of associations in many different ways. And this next one I remember as being just a favorite of every student I've ever taught it to, and the different groups that I've taught it to. It's called Emma's Waltz. And this is a tune that actually is a Finnish tune, comes from Finland. It's a Scandinavian tune, but is well loved and played all around Europe. And so let's send this out to all of our friends who would like to hear this tune. Here we go with Emma's Waltz. So 1, 2, 3, 1. Emma's Waltz. What a beautiful tune, European style tune there. I hope you enjoyed that one. And the next tune I'm going to introduce is a brand new tune. We have never played this. It's a common reel, played at sessions, and I remember it well as being a popular tune that we would play most every week at McSherry's Irish Pub back in Fairhope, Alabama, where they still get together and play most every single Sunday. One of the longest running sessions in Alabama. I guess it would be running now, gosh, how long now?
15 years?
15, 16 years or more, yes. Fran and I hardly ever missed a Sunday there for many, many, many years in a row, and that's where I learned a lot of my tunes. And this was a popular tune. As far as, it isn't an ancient tune by any means. It was first recorded in 1947, which means it's kind of contemporary compared to a lot of the much older tunes that we often play. But it's a good tune. It's interesting in that the B section of the tune is basically the A section, only an octave higher. So it's a good tune to work on, to memorize, to learn to play by heart, to get it under your fingers, and then hear that same melody only 8 notes higher on your instrument. So it is a fun tune to play. When I first learned this tune, I didn't know Spudascary. And it starts with the exact same notes as Spudascary, so you have to be very careful with this tune because you can accidentally start playing Spudascary instead of the Glen Allen. So here we go, 3 times around to help you guys out for the first time for sure, and that'll be 1 time extra slow, and then I'll speed it up just a little bit for the subsequent go-arounds. Here we go, the Glen Allen. 1, 2, 3. Time. G right there called the Glen Allen. And there's a fork in the road note there for sure. It's really good to kind of play a tune deliberately like I just did, to really get the notes in your head and the fingering combinations that you're going to need that will really help instead of trying to play it too fast too soon. It's good to really deliberately play a tune like that. So I hope you like that. The brand new reel. Try to introduce a new tune every week as I have for many, many months. And I've gotten some new ones coming up. And of course, don't forget about my Tom Morley's tune book, my play-along tune book available through Dropbox. Every tune I've ever played from March 2020 till today, and every month, all the new ones that I've played on Mondays, I'll put in there so it will constantly update, and you'll get all the new ones as well. For one $22 donation to my tip jar, I will send you the link, and you'll have over 300 tunes in 15 different folders for you to be able to use and play along with me and all your friends all the time. So there we go. One more tune, and then we'll bring Fran back up and we'll read the rest of The Cat and the Fiddler. I know you're wondering what happens, and it's a pretty interesting story. So here we go with Bill Malley's Barndance, 2 Times Around. What do you say? It's a beautiful tune at any speed, nice medium speed. 1, 2, 3. Barndance. What a beautiful tune that one is. Lots of good tunes this week. I told you, lots of good jigs and reels and pretty tunes and wonderful melodies. But gosh, we left the fiddler and his cat being summoned by the king. So I think we need to bring Fran back and tell you guys the rest of this wonderful story from the storybook we found from 1968.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Well, as you remember, the fiddler was doing just fine, and then the king sent for him, so he must see what's so special. Soon the fiddler and his cat appeared at the palace. "I want you to amuse me," ordered the king crossly. The fiddler bowed low. The cat bowed low. "It is a privilege to perform for you, your majesty," said the fiddler. With that, he tucked his fiddle under his chin and began to play. The cat rose on her hind paws and began to dance. Together they did their best. Never had the fiddler played so well. Never had the cat danced so splendidly. When they had finished, the court began to applaud with delight. "Bravo!" they cried. "Wonderful! Magnificent! Tremendous!" The king smiled haughtily. You know that's a problem, rather. Your performance was indeed well worth my time, he said. Now what is your price for such a dancing cat? This cat is not for sale, your majesty, answered the fiddler softly. This is a very special cat. I could never sell her to anyone because she has no price. So it shall be then, stated the king. I shall take the cat and give you nothing in return. Instantly the cat was snatched away from the fiddler. Begone with you, ordered the king. Oh no, look at the kitty. She's crying. It's very, very sad. Oh no, this is terrible. But your majesty, protested the fiddler. Don't you wish me to stay and play for you and the cat? What nonsense, exclaimed the king. I have musicians who play 100 times better than you. Ooh, but this is a very special cat, protested the fiddler. I am the only one who... It was too late. The poor fiddler was thrown outside. Oh, this is terrible. Now then, exclaimed the king, once the fiddler was gone, let the musicians begin. I wish to see more of this dancing cat. The court musicians began to play, and the cat began to dance. One by one, everyone in the court began to tap their toes. One by one, the ladies in the court began to dance. Soon even the king himself was dancing. The cat led the dance around and around. Finally, the king grew tired. Enough, he shouted. The musicians may stop. But the musicians couldn't stop playing. I said, enough, shouted the king. The ladies and gentlemen may stop dancing. But the ladies and gentlemen of the court couldn't stop dancing. Even the king himself couldn't stop dancing. Help, help, cried the king. I'm tired. Cat, stop your dancing. I command you, stop. The cat, however, was not tired. She danced faster and faster, and everyone else found themselves dancing faster and faster. The cat danced outside the courtroom. Everyone followed, dancing. She danced down the palace steps. Everyone followed, dancing. She danced outside the palace gates. Everyone followed, dancing. Finally, she danced straight to the fiddler. Help us, gasped the king. Stop your dancing cat. Ah, but it's not my cat anymore, said the fiddler with a smile. Don't you remember, your majesty? You took her from me. You stop her. I can't, I've tried, cried the king. He could barely lift his feet, yet he continued to dance. I'll give her back to you. Just make her stop dancing. The fiddler picked up his fiddle, tucked it under his chin, and began to play softly. Instantly, the king, the ladies and gentlemen of the court, and all the musicians fell exhausted to the ground. Whoa. Come, puss, said the fiddler to his cat. We must be on our way. The fiddler continued to play, and the cat continued to dance as they walked down the road. That night, the fiddler patted his cat while she purred contentedly. You are indeed a very special cat, said the fiddler, and I shall never part with you. Then he poured a huge bowl of cream. Even a very special cat likes cream. And that's the end. Yay! This is The Cat and the Fiddler, a wonderful book that Fran found at a used bookstore, published in 1968.
By Jackie Jeter with pictures by Lionel Kalish.
Yes. So I hope you enjoyed that. Is everybody enjoying that? Here,
Yes.
for once, I can't see any of your comments or anything. So there's the story of The Cat and the Fiddler. I hope you enjoyed that. There's a moral there somewhere, isn't there, Fran? It's that kings are no darn good. Rich people think they can get whatever they want. I don't know.
You want to quickly know
one of
where
those
everybody's
things.
tuned in from?
Yes, why don't you go ahead?
Okay,
before we play
the
last
quick
song.
version of
Yes.
that. From Tennessee, we have people from, all over Tennessee. From Ohio, Maine, Massachusetts, Washington, Missouri, Georgia, Washington, D.C., Minnesota, Florida, Arkansas, Indiana, Oregon, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, Labrador, Ontario, and Ontario in Canada,
Wow.
and Tipperary in Ireland.
Ah.
So, hey, everybody, and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Fran.
Now, people who make a comment tonight on the
Mhm.
98th session
Yes.
and make a comment next week on the 99th session will be eligible for a prize
On the
drawing on the
100th
100th session.
Right.
So, alert all of your fiddle playing, your
Friends.
Irish trad playing friends, and get them to tune in next week and make a comment. So they'll have an opportunity to win something, and
Yes.
then we'll be back on the 2nd to find out who wins.
Right. You all have 2 weeks to get everybody you know to tune in on the 100th session.
We want a big show
That
on
would
the
be
100,
so much fun.
and we're counting on you to
Yes.
help with that. So, all right, back to
All
the
right.
tunes.
Thanks for all your help today, Fran. I couldn't hold the book and read it at the same time, of course, so there you go. So I hope you liked Story Hour today. Let's get right back into the tunes here as it's getting late. Let's go ahead and play. Maybe this is the jig that the fiddler played that made his cat dance. Haste to the Wedding. Here we go. One more time. Haste to the Wedding, one of the top jigs of all time there. That's a fun one to play. And let's go right into the next tune, the Foggy Dew. As all my TRAD friends know, every Friday when I send out the newsletter with all the information about my upcoming sessions, I send the music along. And this week you got a bonus piece of music, a special duet version of this beautiful slow air that I'm going to play now, the Foggy Dew. And so if you got a friend, you can both play this tune together with a melody and a beautiful harmony, since it's such a beautiful tune. So hope you enjoyed the special duet sheet music that I sent to all my TRAD friends. Just one of the many special deals you get for following the Tom Morley play-along sessions. That's all I got to say. So here we go with the Foggy Dew. 1, 2, 3. go, the Foggy Dew. I hope you enjoyed playing that one. Let's jump right into the next one. I had to pick at least one tune that was about a cat. This is the Old Gray Cat, and to go with the theme of the storybook today. So here we go with the Old Gray Cat. Cat. Some people might be wondering where Finn is today, the old orange cat, and he had a big bowl of food just before we started the session, and then he went to take a big long snooze. So he didn't show up at all today, even though we had a book about the cat and the fiddler. But I'm sure he'll show up in the weeks to come. This is my most undistracted version of the session in a long time. I usually watch myself on a laptop screen, which is right there in front of me on a tiny, like a postage stamp size version. And I also get to see your comments and how many people are tuning in, so that we could size up the storybook. I went full screen, so I've been watching myself play, which is distracting enough, but I haven't seen any of the comments or how many people have been tuning in, so it'll be fun for me to check it out afterwards. So I look forward to reading your comments. Thanks for all your patronage and support. You know, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and making this last into the third year of play along sessions. I'll be here as long as there's people to tune in to play along, as I like to say. So make sure you mark your calendar next week, number 99, and then of course May 2nd, session number 100, with a lot of fun giveaways and prizes. So you don't want to miss that, that's for sure. Here we go with Farewell to Whiskey by the famous fiddle player from Scotland, Neil Gow, who wrote this in 1799 because of a drought that the British Parliament didn't allow any whiskey to be made for the next few years. So he was saying farewell to whiskey. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. great hour full of tunes and a lot of fun. I hope you had a great time joining me today for session number 98. You'll have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next week for more tunes. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.